Welcome campers, we're going to show you really quick how to winterize your plumbing in your RV. Most RVs have the same amount of plumbing in them and it's pretty easy. You can go to a professional shop to have it done for 100 to and up, but if you want to save that and use the systems in the trailer to your advantage to do this quickly and save some money, this is how you do it. This is how I do it. Alright, let's go. Ours is already winterized, but I can still show you the basics. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is underneath the trailer, there's 3 tubes, 2 blue and 1 red. Okay, so here's how you find your blue and red drain tubes on your RV. You go underneath and you find them sticking through the bottom. Mine has this cover on it. Most newer RVs, I think, have that. Not so certain that any of them are not protected anymore. But you'll see a big old blob of insulation, and then the tube comes through here. And these are the caps that you want to undo. I'm not going to undo mine because I've already got it winterized. But you take each one of these caps off, drains out, and you'll see that it's drained, and then you plug them back up. That's for the hot water heater. This is more than likely for the freshwater tank. And this is just the low section of the plumbing from the city service. So you got a pretty good idea of draining everything there. Lots of guys like to take these off before they're hitching up and leaving the campsite to get as much water out of the system as they can while they're driving down the road. I think that's a great idea, except for me personally, I don't do it because I know I'll lose those darn caps, and I don't want to have to go hunting for them. But that's where they are, and they're usually right under where the water heater is, under your trailer. So these can be in different locations under the trailer, depending on your floor plan, so that'll make a difference too. Yep, you got to climb under the trailer and loosen those suckers up. Okay, hope that helps. Second part is, this is your water heater on the outside. The anode here is a drain cap, and it has an anode on the underside of it. The anode takes the corrosion to itself as sacrifice so that the water tank doesn't corrode as quickly. In this black box here, you take the cover off, and there's your water heater element that also has wiring to it. You want to take both of those out, wash it out with the hose, let it drain. Up here is the pressure relief valve. You want to pressure relief this. Now to get the electrical heater valve off, you want to unloosen this little fitting here. And this is just fitted in there, and you got to wrangle it out a little bit, but that allows you to take this out. I recommend that if you have them out, you might as well replace them. That's the water heater. We'll just leave that open. Now this, well, on the other side is the city water connection that you'll use normally if you're hooked up to a campground that supplies that. But this is your freshwater connection. This is where you're going to put the pink stuff. Okay? All right, let's go inside. Okay. So I've got a little bit of a mess here, but that's how it works after camping. So let's turn the lights on. Lights on. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is come over here. And you're going to want to get under your sink. There's always some kind of a trap door to getting into the water heater, and here's ours. And what you're going to find is the water heater has a shutoff valve, and that's this one right here. The water pump is back there, and this is the magical feature that I'll show you in a minute. I leave this back here so I don't lose it. This valve, you want it up this way so it blocks water from going into the water heater. I do something a little different, and I'll show it to you in a few minutes. But close this off so when you add the pink stuff, the RV antifreeze pink stuff, into the freshwater tank, it's not going to go in the water heater. It's going to go directly into the plumbing to the rest of the trailer. So here's how you do that. So let's go back outside. Now this is the part that's going to save you a lot of grief. This is a simple 2-piece funnel. You're going to screw this on this way. Most funnels like this, you put it on here, it's a pain to get the pink stuff on there. So what you want to do is you say, geez, I wish I had a flexible funnel on my funnel, a flexible spout. And that's it. So you pull it out. Voila. Very easy. Pour all your pink stuff in there. Goes over. Otherwise, it's going to be all over the ground and all over you. Okay, so here we're going to go into here. Now, once you have the pink stuff in there, it takes 5 to 6 gallons. You're going to have, I have a sink, a bathroom, vanity, shower, and toilet. So what you're going to do now is, now that you got it in the freshwater, you're going to use it like you would in the freshwater and camping. You're going to turn your pump on. And here, it's where you turn your pump on. You'll hear it power up. Now it's an on-demand pump, so it's not going to be on all the time. It's going to prime itself, it's going to turn off, and then you're going to turn on those faucets, and the pump is going to come on. And when you turn on the faucet, you're allowing that pump to pump the pink stuff through the lines. Now while you do that, you're getting all the air and water out at the same time. That allows you to not freeze up in the wintertime because you have the pink stuff in there. And the pink will come through the faucet on both hot and cold. And when that happens, it's also going to go into the P-trap so it won't freeze there. So you do it in your shower on the shower head, and you do it in the sink, and you flush your toilet till you see the pink. And some people like to put the deodorizers in the toilets, which is probably a good idea, but you should have those properly drained at the sanitation waste areas where you do that. So basically, once you get all the pink stuff running through everything, here's what I like to do. I like to open the lever on the valve on the hot water tank. I open it up and I run the pump just because I like a little pink in the hot water heater, and then I block it back off. Most people don't do that because it takes quite a bit of washing out, because they say you'll be tasting the antifreeze through your water for a while. Personally, I don't drink the water that comes through here. I always buy filtered water. So this is just used for cooking, washing, bathing, those kinds of things. So that's up to you if you want to do it. The golden key to this whole thing is remember to turn off your pump. Don't forget and leave it running. Turn it off, because you shouldn't hear it. It shouldn't be on. But turn it off, and if you don't leave your RV plugged in for charging the batteries, it'll go off the batteries anyway. So you want to make sure that that pump is turned off. That's how you save money. Use your pump and not their pump, basically, because they're going to pump it and pressurize it through the city connection, and all you're going to do is put it in through the the freshwater connection, and use the pump to pump it out. It's also kind of nice if you never use that pump to make sure it's working and utilize it throughout everything. But it's super easy to do, and it should save you some money and some time and let you sleep at night, because there have been winters where all I did was blew out the lines and figured, well, if there's no water in them, then nothing should freeze. But there's always that little thing in the back of your mind that says, what if there is something somewhere that's going to blow it out? Now, the other thing is, if you do pressurize it, you want to make sure and be careful about the amount of pressure you use in it. If you notice that you use the lower pressure 40 psi or lower reduction valves on your water supply, that's another thing. You don't want to overwhelm your pipes, because these are plastic. They're not PEX. They look like PEX, but they're not. They're a low-grade plastic plumbing, almost like what you see in a fish tank these days. But you don't want to blow those out. I didn't use a pressure reducer my first trip, and everything started leaking. I put a pressure reducer on it, didn't touch anything, and it just stopped leaking. So that just shows you how sensitive those things are. But this will help you so that in the springtime, when you're ready to rock and roll, just turn on that pump, let all of it wash through till it's gone, and you're ready to go till next year. All right, I hope this helps. Thanks a lot. Camp on.